It's already rolling.
It's rolling? Okay.
It's rolling. Action.
Are you doing intro or you want me to do it?
I thought you were doing
I'll do
that.
it. Guys, welcome to Between Two Whiteboards, Episode 1. My name is Coach Dustin.
I'm Coach June.
And we're here to answer all your Catacombs questions. Roll the tape!
Right. All right.
Cool. So, welcome to Between Two Whiteboards, guys. Again, we're here to answer all your Catacombs questions. In the link below, go ahead and click that. You can ask us any question you want relating to CrossFit, Catacombs, hairstyles, like
Fashion advice.
Yeah, fashion advice.
Which jeans are best to cut into jean shorts? All great questions. There's not a bad question you can ask us, guys. We can answer anything.
Don't hold back.
Disclaimer on that, though.
We did get a lot of questions from you guys. Thank you for those of you who did reach out, and you had really good questions pertaining to actually a lot of deep questions that we're not going to get to all of them today, but we will try to answer a good amount of them as we get going. So, we'll just kind of jump right into this. We'll start kind of with like the more easier ones and kind of get a little deeper as we go. But first one was, if chalk increases friction, why does it decrease blisters? And it doesn't. Quick question, quick answer.
Yeah.
The more chalk you use, the more likely are you going to shred your hands. So, I mean, that's a big reason why I think we see a lot of athletes when it's like in bigger gymnastics volumes, with like on bar stuff, use grips. Is mainly just to protect the hands because you're getting a lot of movement on the bars. So I personally use grips when it's like anything. I know you gave me a lot of crap.
Yeah, I don't like grips. I really don't like gloves either. But I think
gloves are like that next level.
Yeah.
Don't.
So, in my opinion, I think what happens when you put chalk on your hands is that now the bar and your hand and your skin is now, they have a firm contact with each other, right? So there's no movement in between the bar and your skin anymore. Therefore, the skin and pretty much the meat underneath the skin is now what's going to be rubbing back and forth, and that's why you get so many of those like blood blisters. Like there's a lot of fluid buildup underneath the skin, and I think that's because when you use chalk, the skin and the bar don't move, and then your skin and the meat is moving, and then just creating a lot of movement in between that creates the blisters. Because I never use chalk, and I don't remember the last time I ripped.
Yeah. And on the other side, like I like overuse my grips sometimes, and like on Mondays, this is what, mid-April we're in right now. There's a bar muscle up workout, and it was small amounts of reps, but you do a ton of rounds, and you don't realize how much. Like I ripped even with having gymnastics grips on. So chalk is just one of those things that like the more you use, even if you do have grips, like it's gonna definitely increase the friction and increase the likelihood of you ripping, and keep you away from doing other fun workouts that week.
It's true. And if you want to get like more in depth into it, if you watch someone like Katrin Davidsdottir in the games, when she does pull-ups and stuff with high volume, you actually see her kind of let go of that bar as she pulls, and it creates a lot of movement between her skin and the bar. So it doesn't create a lot of friction, and therefore giving her a lot of ripped hands. I mean, I don't know her personally, and I don't know how many times she ripped her hands, but that's how she does it. And
her Instagram is a bloody mess.
But yeah, so we would say chalk does increase friction and does increase blisters, at least from our personal opinions. Agreed?
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
All right. So question number 2: how often should you CrossFit when you start off? It's a pretty loaded question, but generally we like to say 3 days a week. Right? That's a good place to start. But most importantly, listening to your body. Right?
Totally. Yeah, like generally, like when we set up foundations sessions for athletes, like in the beginning 4 series that you do, or the Catalyst program, those often are about, we try to do 2 a week in the beginning, so that's the nice thing with foundations is like you get this set 2 days, and so you're not able to come in more, right? And that's like a great place to begin, you know, kind of when you're in those baby steps of getting in. But I mean, I always tell athletes, you know, if they're feeling wrecked after those 2 sessions, like your first week, just do another 2, and then the next week do 3, right?
Yeah.
Or if you're coming out of foundations and you're like, dang, I feel awesome, like I'm a badass now, right? Then just jump into 3 days, like try Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, or something like that. Try those 3 days. But like the main thing is just listening to your body, you know, like even now, like I've been doing CrossFit for like 6 years. Oh, cool. 6 years. And I'll do 3 days a week, you know, it just kind of depends on like, you know, workout dependence huge, right? If we're doing Murph, right, let's take Memorial Week, for example. If I do Murph, I take Tuesday, Wednesday, and sometimes Thursday off, right, after Murph, just because, like, the amount of volume you pack in, like, yeah, like, I mean, a lot of our reps and a lot of our workouts, you know, you got to look at total rep accumulation across that, you know, and so, like, when you say how often to do it in the beginning, like, a lot of the times it's like, you know, if you have a workout that's, you know, if we're looking at all the movements combined together, let's say it's 200 total reps, which is pretty average, right? That's a lot of reps in the beginning, you know? And so 3 days, right? You're looking at 600 reps across just a week, right? If you look at Murph itself, it's 600 reps, right? And that's not including the mile run on each side. So like, even having done this for, you know, 5 years and being an intermediate athlete, you know, you're like, that's still a ton of volume in one day. So I'm going to take the next couple days off. So like, I don't know if there's like anything to back this up or anything, but like I feel like there's this like 1,000 rep mark within a week, you know, for like the average Joe human, you know.
I mean, that's a good way to look at it. I like that. Yeah, giving yourself a rep count. I mean, that's like a pretty bodybuilder, powerlifter kind of thing to do, where all the volume is kind of controlled. That's usually what they see. It's like, don't do more than 20 sets per body part in a given week or something like that. So
yeah,
I think and I think having that same kind of mindset, which it's really hard when you do CrossFit because of how we break down rep schemes too. You know, sometimes you know, there's like those workouts 10 down to 1 where you're kind of just like, oh yeah, I'll blow through this, and then you realize that you're doing what, 55 reps right? 55 reps.
Won't be tricked anymore by those.
2 movements, right? You're doing 110. If you do 3, you know, you're 165. And all of a sudden you're wrecked.
Right. A volume accumulation can happen really, really quick, and that's one thing to watch. You know, in the beginning too, especially like for those of you new athletes who are like starting. You know, grab a coach. If you see a workout and you're like, if it strikes fear in your heart because of the amount of volume, that's probably a great idea to scale. You know, and be like, hey, you know, instead of doing like, you know, if we see a 21-15-9 complex, right? Scale back to 15, you know, 15-12-9 or 9-6-3 or something, right? And that's a great way in the beginning, like within those 3 days of training, to help cut back volume, right? That way you can do 3 days and you're not just stuck with 2 forever because you're just getting so much in, so much. So, and that's like, and I think that's a great reason why we like that 12 to 15 minute time domain is that you generally can't pack in much more than about 200 to 300 reps within that, you know, and so
intensity is just right.
Yeah, exactly. So those of you like 30-minute workouts, there's a reason we only do them once a week. So,
still not too much.
Yeah, right.
Anyway.
So banking off that, the next question is, when are you not considered a beginner CrossFitter anymore? And I listened to Ben Bergeron's podcast. He's a head coach out at oh gosh, what am I blanking on the gym?
CrossFit New England.
New England, thank you. Yeah, he coaches Davidsdottir, Cole Sager, E. Church. You know, so like some really high. Matt Frazier was one of his athletes for a while. I don't know if he still is or not.
No, anymore.
Anyways, like he was doing this podcast, and he was saying like, you're not considered anything other than beginner for the first 3 years, right? And that's like, that kind of should like blow your minds on like, if you're pushing for RX and you're still kind of within that 3 year mark, right? Like maybe there's some more time before you should jump into that, you know? Like there's this huge learning curve, and a lot of that learning curve is packed into like the first 6 months, I feel like, of CrossFit. Like you're going through foundations, right? All these new words are happening, right? You're talking to people and they're like, "What's your snatch, bro?" And you're like, "I thought that was a bad word." I don't know, you know, like, so like there's this huge learning curve in the beginning that is big, right? And then after that, it's also slowly building up volume, slowly learning more of like how to move your body, how to move more weight, right? Like when you should move more weight, or when should you push intensity, you know, like I wouldn't say until like now, like I can kind of self-mod workouts pretty quick and like, oh, if I see this workout, it should be within this domain, right?
Yeah.
And this is like my 6-year point. So I don't know, yeah.
No, I feel the same way. But I think you go through a lot of learning curves as you go through, your career as a CrossFitter or whatever you want to say. But yeah, I mean, you get through that 6-month mark, and a lot of people kind of are like, I'm ready to take on this world. Like, I can do everything and anything. Like, muscle ups, yeah. Like, let's do it, right?
Yeah.
And then I think around like the 3-year mark, that's when you start to realize like the way you move, and if you keep moving at this rate, you will one day implode.
Oh my gosh.
Like your body would just not feel good. And then there's a whole nother learning curve of like understanding how to be more efficient and being more technically proficient in movement, right? And I think that's really where the really fun learning begins, and I think that's where you start to step out of that beginner zone. Because I still think a lot of people that are like all about this intensity component and not understanding scaling options and the certain domains that we want to hit are still pretty much beginners. Because they're not understanding the whys. Yeah. And I think that's a huge part of what we do.
Agreed. Yeah, that's and actually banking off that too, the gymnastics cert I went to a couple years ago, the coach was adamant on, RX isn't doing the workout prescribed. RX is understanding the workout, right? And so within that, like, that doesn't mean like, oh, I understand this, so I should get an RX, right? No, like, understanding is like, let's take Fran, for example, right? 21, 15, 9, thrusters, 95 pounds for guys, 65 pounds for ladies, and pull-ups, just chin over bar, right? That workout, as CrossFit's prescription, right? They're looking for a 5 to 7 minute time domain, right? And so if you're one of those guys or girls that are like, RX or nothing, right? But Fran takes you like more than 7 minutes, like in the 10-minute range, right? I know like my first Fran ever when I tried at RX was like 15 minutes, right? That's a dumb athlete, man.
First time.
Right, yeah.
I know, even. Yeah, let's not go there.
Yeah. But that, technically for me doing that, even though I did do it at the prescribed weight and rep scheme, that wasn't an RX workout, right? Because I'm not getting the same stimulus as an athlete doing Fran's sub 4 minutes, right? Which I like, that's the intended goal, I think, for Fran. Like, I mean, and both of us have done it like sub 3, like, that level versus like even a sub 5 minute are very different. Like, you're on the ground for 45 minutes afterwards, realizing how much pain you're in, versus, that 5 minute where you get to the end, you're like, wow, that was really hard, right? But you're still standing, you're still moving. Like, it's a very different stimulus on either side, right? Or doing like a really heavy Fran, and you get to the end of that and it's hard, but it's just not the same as the stimulus intended, right?
And that stimulus is intended to really, really just break you down as a person, right?
For Fran.
And for Fran. And that's just one workout, right? Not every workout should be that way.
No.
You should not feel that way after every workout at all.
I don't think you should feel like that way after like more than one workout every 2 weeks.
Yeah, I completely agree. That's well, even then, like, for regular training, I think even expand that even more, because touching on that is
once a month.
Yeah, like really just shouldn't be going there too much. Like it, like when I coached Fran this morning, I told them it's a sprint, and a lot of people came up to me and they were like, right after the workout, they were like, oh, that was so hard, like everything hurts. I'm like, didn't get the stimulus that we needed, because you should still be on the floor.
The fact that you're talking within a minute afterwards, you didn't get the right stimulus.
I got off that pull-up bar, and I went slower than I've done Fran in a very long time, but like I was still on the floor.
It's altitude.
Always altitude. That's just my excuse forever. But like I was on the flour. I tried to get up, went back down, rolled onto my back because every time I was hunched over, my lungs felt like they were going to explode. And then I tried to get my legs up, and then I was like, no, my arms hurt more. And then I started rolling, and people were helping me clean up the barbell. Like, that's
the idea.
That might be what we want in Fran, right?
but
not other workouts.
Yeah, exactly, and that's something to like touch into that realm of intensity once a month. You know, because if you did that every single day, you're gonna maybe be able to hold that for a month or two.
Yeah.
But then you're gonna feel like you can't move, and you're not gonna have that motivation to work out anymore just because you're past that fatigue. So like I think that's just to bring it back full swing.
Yeah, I was gonna say we went way off tangent.
But no, yeah, I think you understand when to push that level is when you realize you're not a beginner anymore, right? When you're willing to go to those depths, you know. So
and understanding the differences between those stimuluses, like you know, you shouldn't be getting up after fitting and just be like, wow, that was hard,
right?
And cleaning up, like, and that shouldn't be the case. You know, that you're still maybe in that beginner threshold because you're still trying to figure out how to tap into that.
Yeah, exactly.
But Ben Bergeron, he did mention for his podcast, if you guys don't know, is Chasing Excellence, and then he also has a second podcast from his gym, CFNE Way. So those are the two podcasts.
So we'll put those links maybe down as well, so you guys can find those because his content's amazing. Yeah,
like really, really great stuff. And he doesn't only just talk about the professional CrossFit athletes. He talks a lot about just us people.
Us people.
Us just human beings.
Right.
So. Yeah, and when are you not a beginner anymore? Just a general layout. We're saying right around 3 years, but really when you start to understand the whys of a workout and how to tap into the whys or how to get to the whys. Okay, it's recording.
It's rolling.
All right. So we made the video a little too long, so we're cutting it at the halfway mark.
Yep.
Right around, and then we kind of have to regroup and do the little bit of like the last question again because it got cut off.
Yeah, we'll probably re-record the last 3 questions or whatever. But anyways, guys, that's so thanks for sticking with us between 2 whiteboards. Yeah, we'll be ideally bringing this to you guys on a monthly basis. Unless like we just can't give the people enough of what they want, then we'll totally amp it up. But
do what the fans want.
Yeah,
you know? Let us know. Like, let us know in the comments what we should do better. Your questions. Use the link if you want to be anonymous. Whatever you want to do. We gotta redo the announcements.
No, we'll do redo. Yeah, totally, yeah. All of our questions, guys, they came from you. So we're not just talking about random stuff here. We're talking about stuff that folks have asked us to talk about. So again, if you got those questions, comments, send them down there in the link. We want to know what they are so we can keep this going.
Exactly.
Everything about catacombs and CrossFit in general. We just got CrossFit questions too.
So this is going to be part 1 of our first video, and then part 2 will be coming out, I guess, a little bit later after we do that last question again and do another outro because we're getting better at this.
We talk a lot.
Right? Yeah.
Talk a lot. Yeah.
We won't shut up.
Announcements. Biking and beering. This is coming up April 26th, Friday night at 6 p.m. So after 5 p.m. class. Gotta have a mountain bike, i.e. a bike that rides on trails, Dakota, and a helmet. Helmet's very important, Dakota. Yeah, so if you want to come, you gotta have those 2 things. Like you can be beginner, you can be intermediate, whatever. Just come and hang out. We'll be going on some rides depending on how many people show up. We'll be an easy group, medium group, more moderate group, Use about an hour and a half tops or so, and then we go out and grab beers at one of the breweries around town. So, super laid back, guys. We'll ideally be doing this every Friday or every other Friday, kind of as just like a loose, hey, show up at 6 p.m. if you want to go riding with some people. So especially like in the spring and fall, probably not during the mid super hot summer months because I just got that last year. So that's that. The next day on Saturday, this is April 27th, gymnastics clinic. This is from noon to 2, coached by myself. Ring strength. We don't get to play a lot of rings. Yeah, sorry, no, noon to 1. I'm sorry, 1 hour long, not 2. 1 hour long. Yeah, gymnastics, ring strength. Anywhere from basic ring stuff to ideally building up to the cherry on top, which is going to be ring muscle up. But you don't have to have any prerequisites to come to that. It's going to be really fun. We'll be learning to spot each other, learning to, just kind of more awareness on the ring. So it's going to be really good.
Awesome.
Yeah, $30 if you guys want to sign up for that. Zen Planner. Do it on there. Ask me if you got any questions. Last thing is Murph coming up, Memorial Day weekend. Date, May 25th-ish, 26th. Who knows?
One of those?
Yeah,
that Monday?
Yeah. Monday, Memorial Day. Yeah, it's whenever you're not working, right? So we'll be here.
You guys know the date.
sign up on Zen Planner for that. That's been open for about a month now, so people have been signing up. So if you want one of those ideal times, sign up. If we fill up all 5 of those, we'll add more heats. Obviously, if not, we're just going to keep those heats there. So, yeah, it's gonna be super good. We're gonna get T-shirts coming in. Teams, yeah.
Bring your friends.
Bring friends. They don't have to be Catacombs members. They'll have to sign a waiver. But bring your friends, and if you're bringing them, make sure they're on a team of 4 so we don't crush them that first time.
Yeah.
We don't like crushing people in the first
We
day.
talked about volume and everything, right?
Yeah.
So remember that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Don't kill your friend.
Don't kill your friends. We like it. Yeah. But yeah, come to that. It's gonna be sweet, man. We're gonna have just a wide variety of athletes. That's one of the best times over Murph. We're also gonna be grilling out. So yeah, more details in the newsletter. If you guys didn't get that, let us know. We'll put you on the newsletter thing. Gosh, yeah, we got
Last thing, yoga back on Sundays, 5 p.m. Sign up on Zen Planner, free if you have the unlimited month-to-month membership or unlimited.
Yeah, and private training clients too. Just let your private training coach know, and we'll get you guys hooked up with a yoga membership. So, yeah, that's it, guys. Thanks for sticking with us. Welcome to Between Two Whiteboards. Let us know your questions, comments, critiques. If you got like wardrobe things for us, let us know that too, because we sound a little better.
Yeah.
So
how's my hair looking?
Yeah.
I saw the clip of it last year. I don't like it too much. Something I gotta work on. We're always fixing stuff.
Roll outro.